AIKO, A Heartstrings Novel, Book 1 by Brooke May, read by Itsy, Bitsy, Book Bits. Chapter 1, Law 7521. Cupids are to never have contact with any human outside of a contract. Edit 1976. Except for AIKO, she is forbidden no matter what. Please, I'm begging you, don't leave me. He scuttles on his knees across the cobblestone walkway, which is supposed to look 100 years old, but it doesn't fool anyone, especially me. I know, because I was around when the first ones were placed. I was in exile at the time and took great joy in watching the workers do the mindless task. I told you no, Alejandro. I can't do this with you anymore, especially if you plan to keep humiliating me in public and private. Her long, fake blonde hair flicks over her shoulder as she walks as quickly as she possibly can on the uneven ground. But I love you. Scrambling after her, Alejandro extends one hand with a bouquet of tulips. Who gives women they claim to love tulips? And in the other hand, that is slower to extend, is a guitarron, or is it a vihuela? It is really difficult to tell from this distance. The only clue it is one or the other is the ridiculous yellow and tangerine zebra print mariachi outfit the man has on. What the heck was he thinking wearing an outfit like that and attempting to play and sing to woo this woman? I should have grabbed some popcorn. There's no way she'll hang around him now. Not that she was really into this relationship in the first place. I could tell the moment I saw them in the little hidden haven while I was strolling down the street. It isn't a special sense of knowing things like some humans have, but an actual ability to tap into anyone's mind and heart to know exactly what kind of person they are and how they truly feel about something. And this is just no good. Once she realizes what a train wreck Alejandro Gomez's love life truly was like, she was ready to leave him standing in the rain, figuratively speaking. It's a shame, too. Alejandro is truly a fine specimen of male perfection. Well over 6 feet tall, with glowing tan skin pulled tightly over a well-built muscular frame, rich dark hair that looks silky soft, a smile that would melt any woman, and not to forget the big, generous heart he has, which should make any woman weak in the knees and be the one crawling to him with the need to claim him as their own. It's just too bad he can't figure out how to be romantic in the least so he could keep a woman. You don't love me, Alejandro. The woman fires back, walking a little faster. You know how my heart feels, Felicia. The man continues to make a spectacle of himself. It truly is a great shame. It's not every day someone who looks like Alejandro and could make a woman very happy, and seeing him as a hot mess as he is now. Struggling to get his feet under him, he forgets the instruments on the ground, and the petals from the flowers fly everywhere in the rush. God, this man is desperate. Please, Felicia. Alejandro catches up to her now that he isn't crawling across the ground. He manages to trap one of his hands in her own. Bad move, Al, bad move. Let go of me, Alejandro. The woman snarls at him, refusing to meet his eyes as her gaze stays fixed on her hand, hidden inside his much larger one. Please give me another chance, he pleads, bringing that poor captured hand up to lightly kiss the top of it. Anyone watching this messed up circus would wince, cringe, and look away as she quickly draws that same hand back and punches him right in the face with it. Ouch! Do yourself a favor and forget about me. Lose my number, and if you ever see me again, turn around and walk in the opposite direction, you sorry excuse for a man. Her hair creates a cape behind her as she whips around on the needle heels and leaves the garden oasis where romance and confessions of love are supposed to ignite. At least he got that right. The moment was ruined when he excused himself to come back in full mariachi routine. Al's mouth gapes as he watches yet another woman who he has proclaimed love for walk away from him. I guess this is the perfect moment to say, "Bye, Felicia." Insert snorted giggle here. Al has a woman out there for him. He just hasn't had much luck when it comes to finding her. And no, this isn't some horrible dating show where the producers have the contestants do something crazy and over the top to either prove their love or win a trip for two to some far-off place. This is reality, complete, 150% true life taking place in front of me now. Alejandro Gomez's reality, and I get a front row seat to all of it. Sitting back on my park bench, hidden behind a couple of trees and bushes, I lick my teeth that still holds the slight taste of my afternoon treat of macarons on it. It keeps my laughter at a purring level. Al doesn't need to know someone is watching this horrible romantic experience. It wouldn't be too bad if I was just human, but I'm far from that, and I technically shouldn't even be this close to people. I tend to cause suffering and disaster whenever I am near someone who is yet to fall in love. I thought I was far enough away that the side effect that is me wouldn't reach them, but I must have miscalculated. The guy is just that bad at all of this. I'd like to think that is the case. It would be a nice break not to be the cause of so much misery, but I'm not holding my breath. Mindlessly, I reach into my box of almond flour and meringue goodness, only to remember there aren't any left. Oh darn. Twisting my lips into a pout, I turn to place the empty box on the bench next to me and nearly jump out of my skin. Oh! A head of curly chocolate hair turns slowly to me, kind of like that dinosaur from one of the Jurassic Park movies, and purple eyes fixate on me with a powerful glare that could kill me if I could die. If any human could see us right now, they would think she was a crazy lady, dressed in her short, layered, peach sheer dress with a beaded bodice and braided straps. Serafina doesn't fit into the early spring of this region. Meanie, addressing her as calmly as I can, I disguise my shock of seeing my nemesis sitting right next to me and smile up at her. What are you doing here? With a sigh, Serafina doesn't relent her perfect posture as she turns her entire body to me. I could ask you the same, AIKO. I'm people watching. Defensively, I cross my arms and jut up my chin. I'm not doing anything wrong. But you are. A long finger with a dagger for a painted nail points in my face. You're not supposed to be near humans. I'm perfectly certain I'm safe with this guy, waving a hand in the direction of where Al stands with his head dropped and shoulders slumped. He's so still a rabbit has hopped up, nibbled a little on the tulips, and I think peed on his shoes. I mean, look at him, mariachi and tulips? Serafina, this doesn't have me written anywhere near it. I don't know about that. Her ever-critical eye turns back to the poor man. He doesn't need any more of your bad luck. I think I'm a safe distance, so why don't you... It's time to go home, AIKO. Miss Meanie cuts me off. I'm not done watching this. I need to know what he does next. Mother is summoning you. Head to toe, from wingtip to wingtip, I bristle visibly at the mention of Mother. Slumping in my seat, I force myself to get up. Oh, all right. Head dropped in defeat, much like Al, I follow behind Serafina's effortless glide as she leads us out of the garden into a spot where we can safely return to our home. Oh, by the way, I'm AIKO, and I'm the worst Cupid in existence. Chapter 2, Law number 453. When dealing with humans, keep your past assignments a secret. If making our way back home to see Mother, who really isn't our mother, just Cupid's right-hand angel who acts like our mother, wasn't bad enough, the second we are heading up, Serafina decides to lay into me. Do you have any idea what kind of nightmare you could have caused by being down there? She says, pointing under our feet. I can't help but follow her finger and stare down at the earth as it grows smaller and smaller under us. Swallowing over the massive lump forming in my throat at the height I have never been able to get used to, I contemplate her question. There have been several, more than several incidents I had a hand in creating over the infinite amount of time, at least since I first woken and given my job. I can take a few guesses. Mumbling, I continue to look down. I'm certain I can still see Al standing in the same spot, all depressed and such. My past is checkered. A war started by a prince taking a woman I should have never helped him get. A library burned to the ground because I thought it would be romantic to have so many candles around old, dry things. And the death of millions of people who lingered for centuries before humans were able to get a hand on it. All these flash before me as if it happened yesterday, and a cringe morphs my face. See? Noticing my expression, Serafina pokes at me even more. It doesn't matter what you think your purpose is down there. It never ends well. Cupid himself has said so. Crossing her arms, Serafina proves why we don't get along. You never give me a break, do you? Glaring, I finally lift my gaze from the mortal world just as we arrive into ours. It's been 40 years since I last messed up. Haven't I redeemed myself yet? I don't know why I bother to ask Miss Meany. She will always tell me that I haven't, and I am better off staying up here where I can't harm anything or anyone. The funny thing about my bad luck is it doesn't affect others of my kind or any other angel I may encounter, which isn't a lot since I'm forced to keep to myself. I did have a couple guarding me after one mess up, but that was a long time ago. But the second I step foot on the ground down there, something unfortunate takes place. No, I don't, and no, you haven't. See what I mean? The straw that broke the camel's back took place 40 years ago when I thought it would be a great idea to spread free love. Free it was, but so was the whole pile of bad things that came along with the movement. One stupid suggestion, I snarled to myself, and one nasty disease that took hold of the United States. She's got me there. Gosh darn her. The laws were and continue to be written for a reason, AIKO. Serafina sounds tired, but I know it isn't possible. We don't sleep, never get sick, age, starve, get thirsty, or anything else that afflicts mortals. Cupid decreed you were to stay away from humans after that last disaster, of which the side effects still linger. Our feet land softly on the plush ground of our home in the heavens. It isn't visible to anyone who isn't a celestial being. The clouds form walls around the buildings and support not only our weight, but also the massive furniture and other fixtures we have surrounding us. We may be Cupids, but we still have our own sense of style and individual interests outside of our work. I have never broken a single law. No, but you sure have bent a few. All of us have, I fire back, frustration taking hold of me. You included, so don't go acting all pristine innocence on me, Serafina. AIKO, when are you going to... Serafina, that is quite enough. The voice that washes over us isn't harsh, heated, or even mean, but soft like a whisper, and as gentle and as cute as a fuzzy kitten. It silences us and generates the same reaction out of our bodies as if it were furious, back straightening and our attention drawn to a single person. Briella, also known as Mother, patiently waits for us. At first glimpse, anyone would be struck by the heavenly glow of Briella's snowy white, flawless skin. Us Cupids are beautiful, but meant to be forgettable after we have aided a human. It helps us hidden in the mortal world, aside from dolphins, and also allows us to continue our work in secret. But Briella holds something far more memorable than any of us could possess or ever achieve, and it has nothing to do with her looks, but her presence. Her short blonde hair is covered by a headdress of pink stones that match the board bands that wrap around her upper arms to secure her white flowing dress as it hangs off her perfectly proportioned body. The loose sleeves of her dress cover her hands, but I am sure they are clasped in front of her like they usually are. She is the most beautiful of us all. She is the calmest and the best at her job as well. Briella was the first created by Cupid when the workload overwhelmed him, and some of us think he created perfection the first time, that the rest of us lack something that Briella does not. Serafina, Briella's voice remains the same soothing tone. Thank you for retrieving our sister. You may go to the other room with the rest now. AIKO and I will be there in a few moments. Eloquent as ever, her command fails anything but. She's had eons to master it, and was gifted the power to have some sort of control of me and the others. We may call her Mother, but she has always referred to us as her sisters, never wanting one of us to feel unequal to the other. Having no issues leaving me alone to be reprimanded, Serafina shoots her nose into the air and strides off. I would stick my tongue out her if Briella wasn't watching my every move. Ducking my head, I know Briella doesn't remove her gaze from me as Serafina walks past her and into our main room. There is no soft click of a door to signal we are alone, but I know the door has been closed. I'm sorry, Briella. I can explain. I really can. Twiddling my fingers, I thread them together. The words I have rambling out of my mouth contain no confidence. I don't have a good reason other than I wanted to people watch and indulge in some macarons. Boredom and I do not go hand in hand. It is more of an enemy to me than Serafina could ever wish to be. Not that she tries to be evil to me. And now, instead of rambling out loud, I'm doing it in my head. I have spent far too much time alone. Nonsense. Her single word cuts through the air, but it still has no malice or vehemence to it. It isn't Briella's way. You have no need to explain yourself, AIKO. Peeking up through my long lashes, I find her warm smile. It is in our nature to be curious about the humans we are meant to help. It is? I don't know why I'm asking. I know this. I've read the rules several times. Of course. Her head tilts to the side, making her look all the more innocent. And you have already completed the first step in your new assignment. Wait, what did she just say?